to Andy, but
Toast fried egg sandwich. Were you saving that? Excellent, good.
Perfect timing.
It's all about the timing, right? How many comes
We
in
need a
teas?
title for your D&D campaign.
Fucking no, I don't.
I agree.
It's just like...
Are you guys all bad at naming things?
No, my episodes have cool names.
The episodes always have cool names.
Do they? Well, I don't know what they are.
It used to be in my brain like A Tale of Two Tieflings, but that doesn't really work anymore. I mean, it still could.
It still
vaguely.
is kind of vaguely.
Has to be. I'll think
All
about it.
encompassing.
Wait.
Sedge just has to secretly also be a tiefling.
You should tell us your episode titles like at the end of each session or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say it now.
Well, you can say it now.
Like, do you write the episode titles preemptively or after we do stuff?
Usually they're preemptive, but if there's something that happens in the episode, I'll change it. Like, I named the...
What are you destroying? Oh my god.
Oh, God. Usually, like, the tag alone episode, I named it something else, and then one of you said tag alone,
He's like, are you proud
and then...
I killed it.
And then, yeah. Rumble in the fire pits after the dragon egg. Bison burgers, travel down south. Enemy of my enemy.
It says yes, tasty egg sandwich.
It's delicious.
Finn's playing for me.
Roll for initiative, Finn.
Dead's dead.
You got a 1!
Wow.
Alright, I guess it's time to play Gunther.
What is it?
Finn is Gunther.
Finn is Gunther.
My friend. Now he's stuck. Cool. I didn't start because as soon as I started, Lexi was like, no, the recording's done.
Because we were eating.
Cool. We're in the room. We're looking at, like I said, Barrett just killed Dayron. He's standing over Dayron's body. Yeah. The room's still burning. It still has like that, like, the fire is just like, I don't know, Christmas tree firing around the walls. It looks like the room's still burning, but now it looks like whatever is controlling the fire is allowing the fire to burn the building down.
Oh.
Like, you get the, pieces of the wall and ceiling, or like those, the pillars that were like, oh, all of them are still standing, but they're on fire, woo. But they are now, like, one pillar, like, goes and falls down, and, like, pieces of, like, ceiling support are falling down. Windows are, like, exploding, like, due to the heat and pressure. But we see Barrett just standing over Dayron's body and just, like, looking at him, like, just, like, lying there. He's kind of just, like, serial killer. He's just, like, staring at Barrett. Like, seconds, like, minutes go by, and Barrett's just standing there staring at Dayron's dead body. But after those minutes go by, he bends down to, like, pick up the tome. Clem, you're seeing this from, like, a bird's eye view. You're seeing everything that just happened from a bird's eye view.
Wait, is Tag still seeing from Barrett's perspective?
We'll get there. So yeah,
because I'm just seeing the sticky notes and stuff.
Tag rat.
I mean, sticky note. You got pay-per-view seating to this.
No, I just mean like because from the perspective of the notes in the book, they haven't changed. So I'm seeing because you know what I mean is I wasn't scrying on Dayron himself. I was like scrying on the book, right?
I don't know that. Well, yeah,
right,
you're not. You're not like seeing into his mind.
Yeah,
but you're just watching what is happening.
Yeah, like I'm checking out the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
from the notes that I wrote.
I see what you mean by sticky notes now.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not. I thought you meant like you're seeing from the perspective of the book, and I would be like, that would be like a weird like.
You're like the tiny
you're literally like this, and like there's fire
Yeah.
around your. No, you're just like basically at the top of one of the pillars is a camera stuck, and you're just watching it from the top. You see.
You got the TV.
The most insane thing you've probably seen ever.
Yeah, probably ever.
You see this huge demon visage come out of a wall of fire and scream at the two people who've been making the last like month of your life hell. Then like a huge like brawl takes place, and these thieves disappear and reappear and stab each other. These two robots fight each other. Wizards
Maybe
are
fall in
casting spiritual
Along the
weapon.
way.
They might be falling in love. Clem was like, "Are they about to kiss?" And then one of them dies.
No.
This
Tragic.
huge fight takes place. Then your former like headmaster, like Ordine or whatever, just dies. Like your teacher's teacher dies, then comes back as like a weird half demon, then kills the guy who's been like causing Tag a lot of grief, and from Tag's past ? We didn't really get clarity into that because Tag decided not to say anything about it.
I don't know anything about it.
Then he came back into like a weird half demon. Then he actually killed your half demon headmaster thing, and now you see that he's dead on the floor.
Dead.
It's very weird to Clem. It's very unsettling. Like
Yes.
everything from like a zooming out 30,000-foot perspective, you're like, this is like horror. This is a horror show.
Oh, actually, important to note too that Clem's not the only one scrying, right? Isn't Garen also
Garen
looking?
is also watching.
Yeah. Which
But-
it would be pretty like it would be wild for Clem, but Clem's, you know, like younger, more detached from the higher up instructors. It must be
You can
literally
you
absolutely
can
totally
only-
batshit insane for Garen to see any
You
part
can
of this.
only assume the amount of mental anguish going through Garen's head right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even really, like, your consciousness is not, like, back in your body because you're kind of, like, you know, binocularing through into this world, into this thing. But, like, it's so palpable how, like,
Shocking.
how shocking and
Upsetting.
bad this would have been to see as Garen, that you, Clem, in your body feel like in your gut, and then you come back to, like, watching whatever you're watching.
It'd be like me watching UG, like,
It would
go
literally
down a dark path
yeah.
and try to
It
overthrow
would be-
Oregon State University.
but then die.
But then die,
Yeah.
while fighting.
Would like try to
Andrew
pledge
Skarbaka.
himself to
a
it's
demon?
insane. Yeah,
Yeah, if UG turned into something.
I wish.
Can you
yeah.
imagine?
Refugee.
Yuji
insane.
Haratsuka.
So yeah,
I don't
we
know why I
see
shook up. He's not dead.
he's great. And he's
rest
fine.
rest in peace.
He's still teaching.
Yeah. Which he shouldn't. He should.
Did, and then he
He-
came out of retirement to
Damn
teach again.
him. But yeah,
Which is kind
He's
of
got
like
the Miyazaki
Dayrod
curse.
dying,
Dying and then coming back.
I'm gonna.
Dayrod, I
I
thought
am-
I retired.
I am disallowing a connection between Dayron and Yuji. That is not happening. Destroy that connection in your
You
brain.
don't want Daron to be.
No, I don't.
a
That's
funny
not
little
happening.
Old
No.
Japanese primitive
Yuji is too
teacher.
nice.
Maybe Daron was nice.
He wasn't.
Once upon a time.
He was always just weird and old.
before he was cursed.
Barrett leans down as he picks up the tome, and the fires, much like how it happens to you whenever you talk to LaDonna, the fires begin to slow. But as she again emerges out of the walls, the fire stops. She walks toward Barrett as he like has the book in his hand. He's not like, oh, my book. He's just like holding it in his hand kind of loosely in his charred hands. And charred hands.
Nice miming of holding something loosely while you're
True.
charred.
It's not sizzling.
But
Even
his
though
hands are
he's
sizzling.
on
He's
fire.
sizzling.
That was his hand.
Even though
The sound effect was
Yeah,
for his
that was
hand.
for
I thought you
Not
it was
the
like,
book.
oh, the book's
No, the
sizzling in
book
his
can't
hands.
catch on fire.
I mean, it's interesting to bring
Demon
it up.
book.
A quick look at our friend Barrett.
Look at that book.
His arms are charred, like, basically to the bone.
Ugh.
Though he has
Ugh.
taken on that, like, slow-moving fire that's just present on his arms now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just like if he had got, like, huge, like, fire gauntlets.
flesh.
But they're just, like...
No hugs for Barrett.
It's like the LaDonna effect, but it just seems like that's how they are now. He has, like... It's not, like, bone, but it's just, like, really, like...
super crusty.
like super crusty, like super
Condensed.
like
Mhm.
basically bone hands, but yeah. His black leather armor is like cracked and charred and burned. I don't know if you guys have ever seen burned leather, but it looks kind of fucked up. It's
Yeah.
really scary actually to look at.
I don't know if I have.
Like the top layer of like the skin just it's like crackles and it looks all messed up.
Oh, whoa. Weird.
see. Show me.
Yeah, it's like actually.
Well, it just sort of looks like, like hell a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Or like lava, sort of.
in some places it's hard to distinguish where his like leather armor, like his black leather armor stops and his skin starts. It took on a lot of the damage that he received during the battle, so it's most notably the 2 large blasts in his chests from Daeron's scorching rays. You can almost like, this is like meta thinking, but as we're looking at Barrett kind of like looking at Ladonna, you can almost like see through him through
I was
the
gonna
holes.
say, are they like?
They're like,
Oh, gross.
it's like you can almost see through like the residual like fire,
Like he's a little
lava,
more
plasma.
undead
He's a
than-
little bit more undead. It like
Yeah.
flickers and wavers. His face is recognizable as Barrett. You can still be like, that's Barrett.
That's
He
a
looks
bitch.
different now.
That's a motherfucker.
He has his elven features, his like pointy ears, but it's just like sunken at the cheeks, battle damage, scarred, burned. His eyes and mouth glow like the inside of the fire. His teeth. I really like that one image that I found that I sent you guys, where it's like his teeth are like crackling with fire. So like.
He's got like
Spoilers.
Melanoy
So
arms.
this is unrelated, but these are Terra's Tool characters who I know from DeviantArt.
Nice.
Nope, that's another.
We're in so many campaigns.
No, these aren't campaigns. Those are just group chats.
Oh. Hey, I'm in one of those. It's the
Where would I put
Pokemon
it?
Go one.
Where-
I'm in a couple of
Is
those
it in
actually
general? No.
that I don't do.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
general. No, wrong one.
Nope, that's Daeron. Dead Ron.
Dead
Dead
Ron.
Ron.
Dead Ron.
So,
I love the drippy
like-
eyes.
Same.
Like that, yeah. A little
What
more.
is the
I was
sad
like,
boy?
I was like,
That?
like this,
Oh,
like that.
Gotcha.
Like
Tony.
you haven't seen him like mad yet, but you can assume that when he like is in battle mode, it like, hey, you know what? Like I only had so much effort, or like whatever. His eyes and mouth, yeah. He's fucked up, but he's still. You can like, if somebody sees him, and like, I think that's Barrett. It used to be Barrett.
It'd be a little harder for him
Yeah.
to sneak now if he's on fire.
Yeah.
Um,
Presumably, yeah. Yeah, and Tag. Specifically now going into Tag, you're still like
In there.
in there. Now I would say even it feels more that you're just kind of like
Here.
sitting in a room looking through a window.
Cool. Window?
Flaming window.
Like you felt.
I'm sorry, just like you hissing. Themes. That was just so funny. I'm sorry. Themes.
It's almost as if I planned this out.
I'm good, I'm normal. I'm so normal. I'm not gonna say it again.
So, yeah, Tag, you felt all the stabs
It's very fun to
and
say
all the
that.
blasts as if they were hitting you.
Awesome.
Like you just felt that pain. Like you're not you know that you didn't incur that damage, but you like every time he got hit with anything, you
Thanks,
felt that
Ladonna.
damage.
Love it.
But you also felt like the thrusts of his swords, the dodge from attacks. You felt the attacks, the hits from spells, the wounds from the battle. But you, most of all, you felt like what it was to die again. You felt that. Though this is different. Like your pullback into life was like a handshake. It was like you got burned, like it hurt. Like I said, it was like the most like pain you've ever felt, whatever. But like it was still like a familiar like, oh, I'm like as if Clem was reaching or like gonna hit you with a healing spell.
Yeah.
And that kind of like metaphorical hand pulling you back out. It was that vibe, but it was, still like hell, whatever, demon. Barrett's pullback into life was violent, reluctant.
Oh.
He didn't necessarily, but he wasn't like, yeah, I'm jumping back into life.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Damn, man.
He didn't wahoo into it. It was more of like
Let's go.
like a need than a want.
Mhm.
Like you aren't sure if like he needed to like come back to life to win or what.
If he would have been okay just dying.
He would have been okay just dying, but he didn't necessarily want to come back to life. If that kind of like
Yeah.
juxtaposition makes sense.
Like he didn't want to die.
But he also didn't want to be brought back
Yeah.
in this way.
Yeah.
He was ripped back into the mortal plane.
Oh, so he didn't even get a choice
Yeah.
as much?
Oh, it said in the ability he doesn't. It was not a choice of either of you.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you flip a coin and it's just she
Yeah.
decides if she's done with you or not.
Yeah, you can even tell like the physical toll. You can see in like planes of glass whenever you look at yourself. You can see that kind of vibe.
Sad.
That was. I was so hesitant.
moody.
I was so hesitant to send this.
Why?
I almost just cut
The
it off right there,
angst. You're-
just so you couldn't see that. It was more to get this. This was more of
Just
a
so you
reference. I
couldn't
now
see
realize that's kind of what your arm looks like.
Yeah.
Like normal, just because it's just a sad anime boy on fire.
He's
He's
angsty.
he's a sad
He's
anime boy on
experiencing
fire.
it.
What's wrong with
Experience
that?
fire. But then I'm like, as soon as I sent it, I was like, that's not the vibe that I want you guys to think of when you think of Barrett. So I wrote all this fucked up shit. Even Tag's perception of Barrett's mind is different. Much like you're like, oh, I'm kind of just watching now. I kind of had like, I'll say that some of those hits you may or may not have helped him. Like, oh, the nat 20 might have been Tag. Like, ooh, I'm gonna fuck Dayron right now, so I'm gonna give like Barrett that extra juice or whatever.
Can I, while we're on this though, you talked about how distressing it is for the for Clem to see his teacher, like come back to life and die and be a evil demon person. I actually do want to say too that I think on top of all of that, which is valid, is Clem is relieved to not see Tag there.
Yeah.
Because Clem was thinking that there was a distinct possibility that Tag would have been with them. And you're there, actually. But Clem doesn't know that. Clem doesn't know that. So Clem is relieved that you are not present, not knowing that you actually super are. So
Super R. Super
just
duper
sort of take that.
Yeah.
Earmark that moment.
Earmark that and think about it.
Yeah, probably
Heartbreaking that
anytime when
is.
Barrett was like, this would be a moment to like kind of prove that he can still turn the tables, was also like when he was when Tag kind of synced up with him to be like, yeah, let's fucking do this.
Let's win.
Yeah.
Because you don't know as Tag what would have happened if Barrett lost.
Yeah.
You don't we don't know.
No.
And that's just a question that Tag is like in addition to the other stuff I'm about to mention, but that's a really good thing that Tag needs to leave this with. His patron put them in a situation where he didn't know what was going to happen if he lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keep that in mind. Let's see. Yeah. Tag's perception of Barrett's mind is different. You could recognize his emotions and feelings and thoughts at one time were like directed at you, like this anger that he would carry with like his cunning, his like exacting nature, his like brutal, like this is a loose end that needs to be tied. Killing Keller. You could feel those emotions and thoughts. And on that note, Tag knows his motivations going into the fight. So if however you want to write those into your notes or whatever, those motivations, Clem would not know Daeron's motivations,
No.
but Tag knows Barrett's because he was in his
Yeah,
mind.
the circumstances for Clem were very different, which is, why Clem doesn't know that Tag was present for the whole
Right.
thing and
Um,
there and participating.
Yeah. Participating is the important
Participating.
part.
Because Clem's like, oh, thank goodness.
Thank
I was
goodness
worried,
he's out there.
I was worried Tag would be, hamming it up with Barrett or something after his curse.
Mhm.
So it's very relieving, actually. This is good. It's good. Clem's
It's so
relieved.
good.
It's so
so
good.
good.
You're
Andy,
not. Yeah.
Andy, it's so good.
You're just
That's
trying to
gonna-
deter me from doing something stupid.
That's just gonna be the greatest
You're
thing.
just trying to deter
Wait,
me
what
from
do you
doing
mean?
something so stupid.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Yeah, so you
What,
could-
are you going to be like, turn to Daron's dead body and be like, I was tagged, bitch? What do you mean?
No,
Something
no,
stupid.
no. It's long game stupid.
Oh, gotcha.
Much like you can recognize emotions, thoughts, feelings, motivations. At one time, like, this anger was probably directed at Tag. But now all of that, like, all those thoughts, feelings, emotions feel like torn and shredded and rebuilt.
Oh.
Much like when you like burn a house down, when a house burns down.
I burned houses down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you burn a house down and you rebuild it,
was like,
they
what are you
say that
talking
like
about?
you can always smell the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to keep this stuff because you can still get carcinogen poisoning. from it.
exactly. Much
True.
like in that vein, you know that Barrett is fundamentally different. Even like you're like, okay, this is what happened to me. I have now experienced what happens to Barrett. You feel like dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of Barrett was able to be brought back through this deal,
fuck.
and you can like feel that, like in your gut, you can feel it. So yeah, you're kind of now rattling in this like
In my
view.
Evangelion chair.
Yeah, and you're
I don't want to pilot the Ava.
It's just sorry. I'm
in
sorry.
your Jake suit.
In my Jake suit.
You're now just Jake has taken over, and he's
Just
doing his thing.
Who the fuck is Jake?
Into Adventure Time.
Oh.
The Jake suit.
Oh, right.
The dog is stretchy, and he can
No,
turn into like
I
a super
remember
suit.
now. I remember now.
Um,
We were talking about it last time.
but yeah. This is a stopping point of my thing, so if you guys
Oh.
want to like.
Oh, that was so abrupt. That was so
No, because I
abrupt.
was like, usually you guys are like, yeah, that sucks. So it's like, I wanted to give you
Yeah,
guys an
that's-
opportunity to say something if you needed
Yeah.
to before
Well,
I
I mean,
continue.
that's mostly Clem's Clem's
Mm.
perspective, at least, is just that he's like, oh, thank goodness Tag's not there. That sucks about Daron, but also he is terrible, so I'm not losing sleep over Daron dying,
No.
you know?
I mean.
I think, you know what, actually, is indie watching. That might be interesting, because he is actually a
Is
former professor.
indexing.
Because he's a former professor. He's, like, not...
Index
'Cause
is a
he's-
former professor?
Shut up.
What?
So,
Wait.
like, does he know Daron, and is he watching, I guess? He probably knew Daron
Give me
before.
This is going to be a series of luck checks, because I don't
no,
know.
you said Indy was a
No, what?
summation of Clem's overwhelming knowledge. What do you mean he was a
Nothing.
professor
Nothing.
before?
Nothing.
What?
Nope. Nothing.
You can't just drop that.
Luck check number 1 is if Garen and Clem wanted to do this extremely personal spell along with your familiar.
Well, I mean, he's like channeling Clem's energy. Like Clem's channeling all of his spells through Index. So I think they're like one and the same.
Okay.
You know, right?
I mean, I'm
can
just
still
saying that,
roll.
like, this is...
Like,
you and Garen are, like, sitting with binoculars looking through this. If you want to then add Indy also looking at with you.
yeah. I mean, I think because Clem's like, he's doing all of his spells like through Index. I think that they're like I said, they're like the same dude from a spell, like they're the same
I
character.
guess what
you know
I'm
I mean?
saying is that Clem, I guess you don't have to roll this part. You can decide if you want the consciousness that is your familiar to be involved in this spell. If that makes sense. Like, yes, it is your spellcasting focus, your tone.
Yeah. No, I think yeah, because I mean, yeah. First, just because that's interesting, but I don't want to, like, as a player, there's not a reality that I want where Index knows some things and Clem knows other things, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can...
Like, I kind of assume that whatever Clem... Like, maybe Index doesn't have a separate pair of binoculars, but, like, as the information goes into Clem, he would also know that information.
I mean, I'm just saying that,
You know?
like, I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, at night, Clem, like, you interface, and you guys are like,
sure.
oh,
I didn't know if
this
we were
is
going to
where
have, like, a conversation about it, like, you know, like, immediately, and then I have to, like, be like, oh, Index, you have to hear about it secondhand. Like, I kind of assume that, like, Index just has, like, he is Clem's knowledge, kind of, right?
I just never thought that would come up. Like, I guess I never thought of a need to distinct it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
sure. Yeah, well, I guess then there is no need to distinct it.
Yeah.
Then they're just one and the same.
then they're
and
just
you would
like,
see
when
it.
you pop out, you're like, oh, Indy, wasn't that weird? And
Yeah,
you're
it was so
That's what-
bizarre, sir.
Like, that's what I was assuming when
Yes.
they pop out.
Okay.
You were gonna be like, fuck. And Indy was gonna be like, Master, are you okay? That was a lot.
Please don't swear.
You know,
Master.
like, that's how I was
Please
gonna do
don't
it.
swear. Yeah. I think okay. I think that makes
Um,
sense then.
Cool. I don't remember what the second part of that was gonna be.
It's just wild for everyone to see.
It's just
It's
it
just
is
insane for everyone to
a
see.
truly in like you as Clem reading as much as you have read, and you can assume that Garen is on a similar level. Like, you don't think many people, if any people, have seen the things that you have just seen.
Yeah.
You watched Tag go through something which was like weird and not really like external, but you still saw like a change on his arm. I can safely assume that people other than like demigods or demons or gods, you were probably, Clem, the only person to have seen 3 people like enact like a
Make
life,
insane deals
a
come back to
soul
life.
altering deal
Yeah.
with
Soul altering.
with a demon.
Not only that, but to actually physically see the visage of a
Mhm.
demon, really, like without like facing dire consequences for that, right?
I will say that you can, because of the way that the sealing of the hells worked, there's no way for this to, like, that's not, you know for a fact that that's not the demon itself, because that's
Sure.
not possible.
But like the demon's sort of like
This is
physical
this is
avatar,
like this is yeah, it's
Like
an
an
it's a
injection.
like
which is something,
still
which
yeah.
I feel like is still something.
I just need
It's
I
like
needed to
having a
clarify
magnet.
that wasn't, it wasn't like, oh, I see Jesus, I see a God, you know? But it
I
is
see
like
Jesus.
still, like you
But
say,
but
not
yeah.
many people have seen an avatar of a demon.
Yeah, which I feel like is pretty big. And to see one and to have gone through it without making a deal like of his own or anything
Or
like that, you know what I mean?
notice.
The
Really?
way
Yeah.
the way you described how you scried fundamentally made it so that she didn't know that you were scrying.
Yeah, which is like
Because there was going to be a
Which is
roll at the
cool.
end of the fight that was going to be like, great, whoever won. She steps out, and then she starts to like look around. You dodged a
Oh,
demon
really?
knowing that you watched this.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Which would have been
hooey.
Ugh.
it's
Bad.
I mean, I probably would have
Really
died.
Barrett
bad.
knowing that Tag is in his head is really bad.
Did he?
No.
I didn't think he did.
Which I'm still
yeah.
surprised about a little bit.
I gave you a lot of cushion room because if I was a meaner DM, I could have just been like, roll a deception check, you're fucked. but there's still a chance for you to do that, I guess. We haven't popped.
Don't
Tag
worry,
has
there's always a chance
there's
for you
always-
to
always
fuck
a
up.
chance.
There's always a
Yeah,
chance.
fuck up.
So,
That's what my brain tells me every day. Don't worry, there's always a chance for you to fuck up.
So yeah, we kind of shoot back from. We've been kind of bouncing between like Tag and Clem's perspective. We bounce back to Tag's perspective. You're watching this kind of like through like a solitary confinement like jail bar thing, kind of like this. But yeah,
That's what it's like in Barrett's brain, a prison. That's not
I mean,
your character.
maybe.
That's me just being a fuck.
But yeah, you see Barrett kind of just like look down at this book and like look up at LaDonna. And yeah, like you said, like his
LaDonna to Barrett.
No. Well, yes, but
What?
he is more like
What do you
they have a
mean by
different
that?
relationship.
What do you mean by that
no,
question?
I'm like saying, does he call her a different name?
Yes.
Do I know what that name is?
Yes. The name is Seasia.
Mm.
The same name that you learned when you read the book, or like got the book.
Yeah,
It said
that
in the
Clem knew. Okay.
Clem name.
Does Barrett address her as Seasia or as LaDonna? Like,
Barrett. Would Barrett have any reason to address her like directly?
I don't know, but like just like
I'm
thinking in his brain.
Master, that was really fucked up of you.
No, because I'm
Damn,
saying
lady, what
in
the
like the
fuck?
beginning of the fight when they were starting up. No, I don't think they said it, but that is a good distinction. You know, he refers to her he knows the name Seasia, but he still refers to her as LaDonna.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an insight check, and because you're in his head, you can do it with advantage. Why'd you make your own sheet so small?
I don't know.
Yeah, you zoomed in.
Don't worry about it.
Zoomed out.
Everything's
so far.
also moved. It's a 6.
You're so insightful.
Wait.
Tag.
With advantage.
With advantage, you rolled
You're
a total of 6.
I
You're
rolled
so
a 2,
insightful.
which would have been a 4, and then I rolled a 4, which is a 6.
So, you don't know why. He's like, I don't know anything about names. I know her as LaDonna. I guess I'll just keep calling her that.
Anytime
Maybe-
I want to find out anything.
Maybe I need to
Sounds
talk to
good.
somebody about that. But you can whenever you like trace the mental paths, I'll just say that whenever he thinks about the name Sease, it's like even with a 6, you can feel that he feels fear when he thinks that name. But you're not sure why.
That's a cool character sheet.
Thanks.
Pretty cool.
The skills are broken down by your ability scores.
Right?
That's
Doesn't
almost
that make
as if that's
so
how you
much
should
more
do it.
fucking sense?
They
Instead of
they
putting
never
them in
do that.
alphabetical order?
Which alphabetical means nothing.
No.
Says nothing about what the abilities actually are. That's very nice. It is also it's making me notice that you don't do anything with Constitution, obviously, and even Dexterity could have more, and even Strength
That's an
could have more.
improved
But...
constitution. It used
No,
to
no,
be
no, 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 no.
Oh,
It wasn't
No,
a
like,
comment on you.
The
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
one only
It
has
just saving-
saving
it's just
throws.
saving
throws.
There's nothing else one can do with good Constitution other
even
than
really
save and
strength.
have health. Yeah, that's what I was saying. yeah.
I think it's mainly for like, because
It means
you
your hit
only
points and
do-
everything, so it's important.
you only do con saves. Like, there's no ability. Like, there's no like skill that you would be like, I'm gonna do a con save right now, or I'm gonna do a con thing. What? What are you doing?
I don't know what like
You casting spells?
What are you doing?
I'm a pie.
Oh.
Pie?
It looked like you were just drawing a
You gonna say, hey,
triangle.
do you guys want pie? Instead of being like,
Pie?
I wasn't
Lexi's
trying not
making
to
like
interrupt.
Lexi's making sort of like cryptic Volkswagen.
Lexi's doing the SpongeBob things where he
in
goes,
air.
I was trying not to interrupt your conversation.
You're
That just made it
voguing.
worse.
You're voguing.
No, it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, for those listening at home, Lexi just did some insane pantomime.
wow, that's bad radio, Lexi. Wow.
Lexi just cast.
Yeah, producing
I was trying not to be
3.14.
comfortable.
subpar audio
I don't remember the
content.
rest of the number
Do
pie.
you want pie?
Yeah, I would totally love some pie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wait,
so
what kind of pie?
It's some apple pie and some Marionberry?
Fuck with apple pie.
I don't know
I
what's
mean,
in here.
I think it's
thought you were
Mir-
like,
Why is Lucas opening the door?
I was opening the window.
Oh.
because everybody's face is
I
super
thought
big.
You're opening the door.
Oh, my face
just
is.
decided
I'm
to go.
flushed.
Do you see my face? Do you see Andy's face? We're all red.
I'm not even-
I'm always red when we play D&D though. I'm always like, why
Also,
is my face
I'm always-
red?
Alcohol.
I'm
Also,
always
the oven was
red-faced too, and I'm not even drinking.
Not that red.
That's how I knew it was hot.
I
It's
could
'cause
like fry
Andy
an
doesn't even
egg
drink.
on my face
That's true.
at all times whenever I played D&D, which was great on Tuesday because you couldn't actually see my
It's
face.
true.
You are just sort of like.
Show
It
Danny
was
the picture.
green. I haven't shown
I
you.
think Lexi showed me a picture where you were green. No,
It was green.
it was on the Ovation
Yeah.
Instagram because I've been checking
was
Instagram more than
green.
usual. Wow, it looks so good.
If you ever want to be Clem, we can turn you green.
Wow, that'd be really cool. Actually, would be really fun.
Be green.
Apple.
Apple.
I'll take whatever pie people are not eating.
How much do you want? Half of this? More than half?
Like a
All of
You
it?
can have all of it.
You can have all of it.
That much?
I'll have
Yeah.
half of it, and you can have
Yeah.
half of it.
You can have 2/3 of it.
Sure, won't turn that down.
Do you want me to heat it up?
No, I like cold pie.
No, I'm okay actually.
Please,
I like-
sorry.
I like it
Danny,
heated up
sorry,
too,
we don't
but-
have monster cookie ice cream.
That's fine.
Oh,
Paul.
Your dad's an insane person. What is wrong with you?
That's the
you don't
wildest.
have to do that. You know.
Listeners,
All this-
just know
all
that
this
the pie
shit about the duel in
Danny-
the fire,
Andy-
that's not that wild. That's the wildest shit I've seen today.
Andy just ate a piece of her pie without using a fork, and it was an insane thing to look at.
Hands.
Like it was like a crumbling.
As if she was
sweet
one of her
pizza.
dogs. You know when dogs do the thing where they're like, and they go like,
Egg.
Oh yeah, it is. You're just Sheeta eating an egg off of toast.
Who?
Oh, you
Pink
just
House in the
sent.
Sky.
Wait, you just sent that in the
Oh.
WhatsApp. not
where he
in
goes like,
Discord.
oh, that's you.
Yeah, that was
The
you.
Castle in the Sky go.
Which I need for its versatility.
We're talking
I
about
look at you.
whether or not, okay, Madonna is, okay, we need to pause.
Also the angle. I'm like, it's just gonna slide off the plate. Finn's gonna eat it. No one make eye contact with me right now.
Lucas, do you want some chocolate cheesecake?
I'm okay. I'm losing it. I'm gonna die.
Do you want caramel ice cream?
Maybe. I'll have some after. I need to talk too much. I'm just gonna say you don't need this, so I'm gonna take this away. You were gonna use it anyway.
That's horrible.
I'm sorry.
I was just leaning over my plate. I was sort of like out fork halfway up to my mouth, just glanced at Andy. She lost
I did it. No fork needed. Why?
it. You and your dark machinations.
My face wasn't red before. It's really red now.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you
No.
feel self-conscious.
I'm just laughing too hard. Oh, this is a teacup dish.
Oh, nice.
Tis.
That's why the pie stayed so well when you held it like this.
Can you imagine if it just like sloughed off? How sad that would have been.
Yes, I can.
I think we all would have died.
I would have just ended the session. Hey, we'll cut
It's
back
over.
to tag.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm gonna just go to sleep.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
There he is.
So unfortunately, Tag, you are not insightful and
No,
get nothing.
at all. Can I
Whenever
roll?
you want exposition, you can't get it. You don't deserve it.
I just want to know things. Can I roll a history check?
Sure.
Please, not with advantage.
No.
Just
I'm sorry. I
Sounds
would
like
also allow
that sounds like
for
a
religion
DM
if
who's
it's
got
higher.
exposition to
21.
give.
Okay,
Tell me
cool.
shit.
So
Tell me
you,
things.
with that history check, I'm not gonna go into the religious side of it because that would have to specifically have been a religion check. But you, with that, know that knowing a demon's name is one of the most, if not important things to having any power over it.
Ooh.
Much like in any fairy tale and anything,
Gotta know its true name.
you then with that history check go back through kind of your mind. You're kind of, I'll say, like, you're watching LaDonna like just talk at Barrett for a second, just being like, so you did it. You survived. They're just talking to each other in a burning building, which is also kind of insane.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty badass.
That was pretty badass.
Yeah, you're going through all the times that you've even come close to this entity, like whether it's through way back in like that weird power that was summoning a dragon baby, whether it's like the thing, like every mention of this being that you now know as Seasia, you just learned that name.
Yeah.
You've been experiencing this entity for a month.
How do you spell that?
C
It's on your character sheet, actually.
A-S-S-I-A.
Your old one.
Andy. E-A.
It's on your.
I gave Barrett's.
Oh.
A-S-S-I-A.
Thank you.
Say, see,
Thank you. We got there.
Yeah, it was with an over 20 history check. And I'll count that for insight because, like, you have to be able to see history through a lens to understand it. You now felt that when you got closer and when you were personally connecting with this entity, that the name was being held from you. Like, she told you a name that when you're like, what's your name? She gave you, like, her title. And with that history check, you know, La Donna Bruciata means the woman tricked.
Oh.
And with also that history check, each layer of hell is like mastered. It's like the owner of it or whatever, the king of it, or I don't know how to say it. You know, the person who runs that layer of hell. Each have a, I don't know how to describe it.
Oh,
Look at
to
my
be an
notes.
administrator of hell.
Like they are, they have like a category for, like, each of the nature titans are akin to like a different element. Each of the gods are tied to like an emotion or like a feeling. Each of the layers of hell and each of the devils that own it are tied to something tangible, like the devil tricked, the woman tricked. So now you're like, oh, a lot of her caginess, not caginess, a lot of her just like, I'm just not going to tell you things, was self-preservation. Because the less power you have, or the less power you feel you have, the better of a position she's in.
Kind of almost, I mean, she's not human, but it kind of humanizes her a little bit. Which is kind of interesting.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, now you know, like, she's not just like infinitely powerful being, like she has like motives, and those motives include self-preservation is a humanizing aspect.
Yeah.
If there was a bit of information to pull from this entire experience that you guys have had over the last 2 episodes, that was it.
Okay. Sick.
So yeah.
Got like one of those Steam achievements.
Basically, like, the main tags, like main, I guess now side quest that has been formed into your main quest. This is like, I know the
New
name.
side.
I know the name of my demon, and that's a huge deal.
Okay.
True name learned.
True name learned. So yeah,
Adds quotation marks to
that yeah.
Ladonna. Sure.
So,
Ladonna.
a peek behind the screen, and I'll say the last bit of information you get from this over 20 check. It's up to you whether or not now you want to let her know that you have that power. You don't I'm telling you, you don't have to be like, you do not, now that you know it, have to refer to her as that.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, there's not like a, oh, I have to because of the pact I'm in.
cool,
I have
okay.
to because now I'm a
It's
warlock.
not in your contract.
It's not stipulated that you call her anything specific, so you can continue as if you don't know.
But does she know that you've learned?
We can only communicate whenever. She can't read my thoughts, can she?
She can talk to you whenever. She can't read your thoughts.
Okay.
The only safe space you have from her is inside your head.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Except when she is in there wanting you to do things like
Yeah.
kill her.
Unless she, like, takes your body over. And even then, like, unless she, like, detect thoughts and probes, you will know if she's trying to read your mind.
Cool.
So yeah, you are kind of, I'll say you have this revelation in
Barrett's brain.
it's
No,
like
I know.
in a moment,
Yeah.
but it's like in a movie where you're like, all the things come
I've
together,
connected the dots.
and then you like
You haven't
snap
connected
back,
shit.
and it's like no time has
Connecting.
passed.
Cool.
You kind of just have this realization. So yeah, LaDonna kind of just like stands above Barrett and kind of looks down like proudly almost.
Wow.
This is gonna be a lot of talking to myself, I realize, because now you are Tag and you're a Clem.
That's the DM's eternal struggle.
So you see, LaDonna. I'll start referring to her as Sayasia when you do.
Okay.
Because that's how important it is. Cool. Like,
And it's less confusing.
and it's less confusing.
Yeah.
LaDonna looks down at Barrett kind of like proudly, and says, "He was a bit of a pompous prick, wasn't he? I'm glad I don't have to deal with him anymore. He was having his own side experiments, doing his own weird thing. I think he wanted to like control a dragon. I don't know. Using my magic to empower his magic. I'm glad it's done with. I'll keep this short, Barrett.
Dragon.
This building's about to come down around us. It'll take care of all the evidence. You don't have to worry about it." And as you say that, Barrett kind of like looks around, and the bodies and like bone is hard to burn. Like the people who've been dead for a while, you kind of like see, and like they're just gone. They're ashes.
Dust.
Dayron is starting to get the same
He
treatment.
does
but
the
he's
like
been,
crumble.
yeah, it's like you kind of can hear like he's like, and like his body is like falling apart. Barrett kind of just like looks up at her, nods, and doesn't really say anything. He doesn't. You can tell he's like, I don't know if I should talk here or not. He. Yeah, you just like, I don't know whether or not I should talk. I don't know if I can talk. He's just kind of like, I don't know. So then, like, seeing that Barrett just kind of nods, LaDonna continues. You know a bit of our plans down south, but you are not going to be leading them. So head there. Head to the temple. They've already gone underway. You just need to make sure it happens. And
Great for
then,
us.
you see that she how does she do this? So with her they've already gotten started down south. I don't think there'll be much resistance, but you never know who you'll see down there. And she winks at you and you can tell Tag that she winks at you.
I'll throw up. What?
And with that wink, you can tell that you're starting to like leave.
What were her motives in bringing you there? What are her
I
motives?
asked her. She wouldn't
Yeah.
tell me.
But I mean,
I
I'm
was just
wondering what
supposed
her
to
motives
watch.
are regarding you broadly, because she knows that you are generally opposed to Barrett, and now you have warning of his plan,
Mm-hmm.
and she knows that you're going there, and she knows that Barrett's going there, and she's doing something there that she doesn't want you to stop, but also you're kind of working for her. But
Yeah.
not?
I'm like a sleeper agent, but I'm awake, but I'm also a triple double agent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
With the wink, though, Barrett is confused. You feel that.
I would be too.
As
why
you're
is
slipping
this-
away
Ugh.
through his brain, the spell is ending. He is going to do an insight check with disadvantage to try and understand what that
What
meant.
the wink meant.
It's a disadvantage for. I would give him duffel disadvantage if that was a mechanic in the game, because like there's no
Can I
way he
roll
could
against
put
him
that
with
together.
advantage? As I'm like leaving to like.
Well, because it's
since-
not you deceiving.
Well,
it's
since
really
he's
like
kind of like
it's
blocked
really
me out of
LaDonna.
his brain to certain facets, could I like reverse block to like prevent him from seeing anything that's like technically what's the word like a because I'm like a foreign body in his brain right
Right.
now, so could I kind of block that?
I'll
I don't
say.
know because he's kind of inciting on her, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
He is inciting on what that meant. I'll say you don't have to roll anything. You don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
I'll just say, with you actively being like, he cannot know it was me.
Yeah.
I'll say if he beats. Oh, she has to roll a deception check. Where are her stats? Okay.
She's probably good at those.
She has a plus 14 to deception.
Oh my
fucking
god.
Shit.
She's a demon, and like not just like a demon,
Like
like
a demon
an
lord.
imp. She is you now know a leader of a ring of hell.
Mhm.
So this is the insight or this is what Barrett has to be. Barrett has a high insight. He's smart, but he's not he has to beat what did I say?
14.
14. He has to beat a
26.
26 insight.
Which is doable,
He
though.
can do it
Whoa.
if he rolls a 19 on both dice. He can do it.
Oh, damn.
19 or 20. He has a plus wait. That's not right.
7 would be...
7 would do it.
Yeah.
No,
she got
he has to
26.
roll 26. He has an 11.
He has an 11 insight.
No.
No,
What did
he
I
had,
say?
he had an 11 to stealth, I
He had
thought.
11
He
to
had
stealth,
7
that's
to
not right.
insight.
7 insight? I'm
Maybe.
going to pull
Still
up
19,
his.
20. It's pretty good.
I don't remember. I didn't
I'm-
have to do much
this
insight
is-
rolling against Dayron.
This is not super important.
When he
for
was like,
this.
you were always a coward, and I think that's the only thing I actually said as they were on the whole session.
Okay, he has a
Ow. Why do I
plus 6 to
keep-
insight.
6?
Oh, that's...
It's not as good as I thought it was.
Basically,
But
he's
it-
got to get 20
but he
twice.
So I'll just say, wait, yeah, he has to get
What is
2
he?
nat 20s.
Fucking insane.
I'll say he does it on 19 because I said that, and that's nice. It gives him a
Yeah,
better chance.
You know, be fair to him.
10% chance?
To have both of them.
Oh no, never mind. Whatever.
Low.
So
Wow.
in no way
That's
does
a
it.
pretty bad insight, too.
Ugh.
He is just
He's like, oh, that was fucking weird.
he just kind of looks at her, and you're like, I think she's. He just like, I'm not even gonna try to think about
Oh,
what her
wait,
plans
though.
are.
Is because from his perspective, she's just winking at him.
Right.
And so it would be pretty wild for him to insight that she's actually winking at Tag in his
Well,
body.
That's what I'm saying.
But I feel like it would be more likely that he
Her-
would be like,
oh, she's winking at me because she's hinting that I know who might be down there, so it might be somebody I've interacted with before. He wouldn't put it together that Tag's in his body unless he was crazy.
What I was gonna say is that not that Tag was in his body, not that like somebody else was here. If he rolled 2 nat 20s, he
Yeah.
would have known somebody was like,
Yeah,
like he
fucking
would have
with them.
felt the magic and effect on him. If he would have made that roll, he would have known that she was fucking with the situation.
Mhm.
Like that she was not just like,
Ooh.
I want the better of you two to join me on this on the mission.
It's like waiting it.
Mm.
Like, yeah, he would have known that she was waiting it, but he just thinks with that low of a roll. I mean, that's like a middling, 15 or something. I think
Wow,
it was
you're
like
right, because his insight is pretty good.
it was pretty good, but he was just like, she has too many plans going on. Like,
Was it the fire?
Yeah.
Or did she actually wink? She's just
right?
kind of a
He
flirty
saw the wink, but
demon.
it's just like, was she just making fun of me again? You know, was she just being a big
which has
bitch?
happened before.
Which has been which has happened before.
Wait, when did she make fun of him before?
She like goaded him and Daeron through the whole.
Oh,
like,
that's
beginning
right,
of the
that's
fight.
right.
Was like basically just
Like, do
belittling
better,
him.
or else I'm gonna light you on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Mom's
So like
disappointed.
she's been toying with them to some degree this whole time, right?
So yeah, you have an opportunity to do anything if you want, unless like you have like one last thing to do as you're being pulled out. If you want to, you
Tag the whole
you super don't have to. But speak now or forever hold your peace. I guess.
I'm trying to think of like what Tag would even think to do. So Barrett was like the founder of Librutus, or was the second in command
Second in
I'll
command. Who's first?
Daeron?
give
Oh.
me you.
Because I guess Tag just wants to figure out how, or like maybe get a hint as to why, like, Barrett is here again.
Alright, Barrett's here again.
Because he hasn't seen, like,
You mean like in the world of the living again?
no, like,
Or-
so,
Why Barrett was on this side of the world.
yeah.
Um,
Or, like, why Barrett's even involved after, like, all the shit that went down when he was a kid.
cool. I'll say you don't need a roll for you don't need a roll for the first part of what you asked. Because
Okay.
I'll kind of, because like that's like, oh, this is just my, like it's like if I were to be like, you work, where do you work? What do you know about your work?
What do you
You would be
do?
like, I work at Oblation and my boss is wrong. You know, you would say that. So
Uh-huh.
like it's pretty top of mind. So
Okay.
you in that last like try and like the last connection, after you see him fail an insight check, you're like, this is my in. Not feeling like you see him
Yeah.
go like divert his mind away.
Mhm.
You kind of
Flip
just
through the
like you
files.
flip through the files, you kind of like skim the surface as you're being sucked out. And you know that he was the leader, he was the second in command of the Brutas.
Mhm.
She was in control of the Brutus.
Oh.
She was puppeteering both sides of the bad guys to try and start to take over this side of the world.
Mhm.
Like with, I mean, we know the plot that Daeron had with his taking out the count. You now know that, you know, the Librutas were a part of it too, as like the muscle to like make it happen and execute people. And why Barrett is in this side of the world. That's personal information. So you can get his like, I'm here, like why I came here, like
Like you can get
why
the narrative that
like
he tells.
you can tell, yeah, the narrative he would tell people, like other criminals, like, oh, why are you in Twin Cities? This, but I'll let you roll we'll basically do the detect thoughts probe.
Okay.
Let me read you. I'll read you the spell. That is not
Everybody
the
already
spell.
knows my thoughts.
are your
We
thoughts?
read your thoughts. We probed it. We didn't even need it earlier
It's
today.
just because I voice them all
Um,
the time. Is the thoughts that I have you hear the things that I say.
Hold on.
Finn, what are your thoughts?
He's voicing his thoughts
Okay.
too.
If you
Exactly.
if you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it
Barrett's got
fails,
shit wisdom.
if it fails, you gain insight into its
No, I
reasoning.
thought his wisdom was good and his intelligence wasn't.
Is insight and wisdom?
It is wisdom.
Shit, I did that wrong. We'll just say that was his perception that he rolled earlier. My
I
bad.
think you're right.
His wisdom is bad.
It is?
I'll double check on the character sheet.
Sorry.
If you probe deeper, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. We'll say that it's this.
Give me his sad backstory.
If it succeeds, the spell ends. I'm gonna augment this a little just to give this more stakes.
Mm-hmm.
It says either way, the target knows that you're probing into its mind, unless you shift attention to another creature's thoughts. So I'll say if he succeeds, he knows that somebody was probing his mind at that point.
Uh-huh.
And to give even bigger stakes, he knows that it wouldn't be her because
Damn
she
it.
wouldn't give a shit.
Damn it.
So this is the choice that you, Andy, as a character would have. You can
Me, Andy, as a character.
you, Andy, as a character in this game we call D&D Life. You can either get the what he would just tell somebody he not respects, but what he would tell someone.
Like someone who we just hired. No.
What he would tell one of his if his underlings that came with him were
What he would
hey
tell
boss,
Kellar.
why'd you
What are you doing here, man?
I came to the reason this way. Why'd you come here? And be like, oh, this reason. Or you can find the real reason. But
Or he could know that you're
but if he succeeds, and I'll pull up his character sheet again and I'll read it correctly, not with my drunken eyes.
Insider.
I know, but I didn't have a good lunch.
Good bread.
Oh, I really fucked up his
Do I
character
do
sheet.
this?
What?
Yeah, no, I fully read that as I fully read that as intelligence. He has a +0 to wisdom.
Oh!
So I was reading that as intelligence. I'm a stupido.
You
Oh no.
rolled that
No. I used his expertise to give him good perception. That's how I did it. I doubled his expertise on his thing so he could see things if he needed to. Cool. He rolls a +0. I'll say the DC is a decent spell save DC for your level was Daron's was 15, right? And he was 2 levels above you guys.
I think his might have been. Yeah, I think it was 15.
I'll say the DC is 14.
That's what I have to roll higher then? Or
That's
that's
what
what
he
he
has
has
That's
to
what
roll
he would
higher.
have to roll
Okay.
higher.
To
You
save.
can roll the dice if you'd like. I was gonna roll it in front of you.
Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna try
Can
to
you
probe
roll
deeper?
the evil dice?
I'll roll.
This might be the only
I could roll the
opportunity you
dice
have
that
in
knocked-
his head.
Is this the dice that killed Barrett or killed Tag?
That was one of them. That was the one that got his last death save.
Cool.
Fuck.
Oh,
I
no,
was
really?
gonna use the nat 20 that knocked him out, but this is the worst die for
That's,
Tag.
that's the evil dice.
This was your death save?
So
I'm so fucking scared.
surface level or probe.
I don't want to.
Are you gonna probe?
Tag wants to fucking know.
Cool.
It's more
I agree.
interesting from a story
So
perspective.
he
anyway.
needs to roll. There's
Nobody achieves anything by being passive, you know?
There's no addition to this roll.
I want to go back and loot that wizard.
You want to go back and loot that wizard?
That's how I died.
He needs to roll a 14 or higher, or else he knows that if he rolls a 14 or higher, he knows you were in his brain.
If this
Yeah,
dice,
wait,
if,
Tag
He knows that
specifically?
somebody was in his brain.
Okay.
if this dice fucks
And
me right
he
now,
is a mastermind. He was a mastermind rogue, so you can assume that he can figure out who it might be. It'll
would-
take time.
but he wouldn't think that Tag would have that power. He'd be. I feel
I
like
will
Tag would be low as fuck on his
rolls
list.
on
Uh-huh.
his thing as if he was finding out information about anybody else.
Yeah.
There, it's not out of the question that he could pull it back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw
Because I
up.
feel like,
There's a lot of other suspicious people.
That guy shoots a
but-
gun. How did he get in my brain?
And maybe you'd think of Clem or
Yeah.
Garen first, for that matter. Well,
That's
you're
also
still-
bad news.
I know.
You don't
like,
want
I
him
don't
to-
want it to
you
be.
don't wanna-
I don't want
you
him
don't want him
think of
to
Clem
think
either.
that it's
Anybody
Clem.
that
really
he
don't want
ties
to
this
think
back
of
to
Clem.
is bad.
Yeah, they're gonna be in danger.
Just do it.
He rolled a 7.
7.
You probe deep into his mind. You the roll's bad. That would have been another death save or another death save fail for you. So
There was a 23 rolls after that.
dang.
Can you imagine?
He could have fucked you.
He
He
would
could
have
have
been
just
like,
ruined your life.
You.
He would have just been like, there were people. I remember that you guys were around. So, why Barrett is in town? We zoom all the way back to, I'll say even to that night of the gun, the duel you guys
Oh
had.
fuck. Okay.
Because it's not dissimilar to why you're not there.
Wait, the duel. I have not seen you two duel head to head.
No,
This is
this is
backstory.
backstory.
This is
Yeah,
backstory.
yeah.
So we zoom way far back. The reason why Tag only has one horn, or Tag has half a horn,
Mm-hmm.
is because he and Barrett dueled.
When Bear was that bad of a shot, he missed your head entirely and hit your horn.
I ducked.
Oh.
So this is gonna, yeah. So you see, I'll just like a movie. We see the duel from Barrett's perspective.
See a little baby
He
tag.
I'll kind of zoom through this because I don't want to go through my
Yeah,
notes
yeah.
and pull back the exact scene. But he calls you out in front of all the people that are gathered at that gang meeting. Tag's dad tries to quell people, is doing a pretty good job. He has enough sway to get people to calm down and be like, whatever. Tag, you take it into your own hands. You as Barrett, you seeing from Barrett's eyes, you see the guy you just made fun of, red face, redder than it normally is, run out of the room, and you're like, I fucking got him. His dad's gonna kill him for shouting out in front of everybody.
I
I got
destroyed
him.
that teenager.
I destroyed that
I
teenager.
destroyed that 13-year-old.
I destroyed that 13-year-old as a 15-year-old.
Wait, he's that young?
You guys are similar ages. You guys
Wow.
are.
I
yeah.
thought he was a lot older than us.
Elf weird.
I did not
age.
realize
It's
he's...
elf weirdness. He's like Legolas. Is he 30? Is he 300?
Oh,
Is
okay.
he 18?
But
Um,
developmentally, he's of a
he-
similar age.
He's. I mean, Tag could be smarter if he wanted
Tag
to be.
is developmentally 14.
Yeah. So,
Not literally, but
some people choose to grow up. Tag didn't.
Oh my god. Tag eviscerated by the narrative
eviscerated.
again.
God says die.
But Tag did odd jobs.
Mhm.
Barrett chose to be a career criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the distinction. So Barrett's like, I got him, whatever. Barrett walks out, he's drinking with his buddies, and then Tag comes back into the room. I'll say you shove a gun into his hand, and you're in the alley. And Barrett's like, okay, I'll do this. I'll kill you. You hear in Barrett's head, I guess I'm just gonna have to kill Silas's kid. Whatever. You guys go to the alleyway. From this perspective, given the context in which you are doing a detect thoughts, insighty kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the present company that Barrett has as you are going into this scene, this isn't. I didn't know you were gonna fucking probe his mind. You see something and you feel something. You see you guys draw and he fires and your Barrett shot was gonna miss no matter what. He at the same time, it's bullet time. He sees your gun pointed directly at his head.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to kill Barrett.
Oh my fucking god.
Something stopped the bullet in the chamber of the gun.
Oh yeah, because it jammed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in this context, in this situation, you feel that heat. I couldn't have dreamed that you were going to ask this question in this way with this people. You feel the heat that you've been feeling clog your gun, making that bullet not come out.
What the fuck?
Then everything plays out the rest of that scene like you know it. Barrett shoots your horn. Nothing really happens. Your dad comes out, breaks up the fight. You guys split directions. Then, kind of in fast motion, you see Barrett leave these gangs like you did, but also go to a different gang. And he didn't fail. He was like a pretty good runner. He rose through the ranks like you're supposed to. He like was with one gang and then like did a little bit of like this, like, oh, I'm gonna be like the
Didn't get kicked out, but advanced.
yeah, but he's just like, but he jumped gangs too. He just like, I don't want to be a runner anymore. I'm gonna lie to the next people I talk to and say that I was higher, so they'll put me in at the same one, and then prove the skills that he has, get better and get better, until he kind of gets to like doing he's like doing petty crime. Or, like, not petty crime. He's doing, like, mid-level gang shit in, like, Moonrook. But since it's, like, the capital, it's hard. I'll say even in this, like, flashback, you see, like, the Knights of Moonrook. Maybe even, like...
A baby
That's-
Sedge.
maybe
wild.
maybe
Or, like,
even, like...
That'd be
A
wild.
you
30-year-old
see-
Sedge.
Just like
you
a
A
see
happily married 30-year-old
happily married 30-year-old normal
you
adult.
see a huge bison. Your dad. The
Yeah.
leader... wait, your dad wasn't a knight. Just you.
I don't remember. I think he might have been actually. No, I think he was.
He was?
Yeah, I think he was before me.
Cool. Then I'll say
I'm
your
pretty
dad...
sure. I don't know.
If he
I
was,
can check later.
he was the leader of your thing. You
Yes.
see your captain. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. The captain of your guard, that Sedge would know, breaks down the door of this this gang hideout, and it's a like a what do they call it?
Raid.
It's like a raid. The Knights of Moonrook eviscerate the gang, and
Fuck.
Barrett just gets out. They try to cast a command to get him to stop, and he gets out of it. And he jumps through a window and he falls into a river and goes away. Then he moves to, he's like, okay, I'm pretty good at being a thief. That wasn't my fault. And then he bounces around, but he like tries to find people in the Twin Cities. He moves there. All the gangs aren't really like up to snuff for him. They're like not at the same level that the gangs of Moonrook would be in. But he
He doesn't want to join the full frog gang.
oh fuck no. He like runs into a bunch of them and just kills one of them. He's just like, this is no beans. But then he finds a couple of the other people that he was fighting with in that fight, and they kind of like group up. And not like form a gang, but they kind of form like a crew.
Yeah, like mercenaries.
And then they are approached like in the night. It wouldn't be by Dayron. That would be way in the future. That's kind of where Tag's mind goes like, oh, this must be Dayron goes by. No, they just get like at the beginning. It just was like a letter being like, you guys want a shit ton of money? Just start like it was just like hit lists, just brought directly to them, left on the doorstep,
Oh.
and was just like execute this person, like this head of state, this like rich dude, these people.
Like the guy in Game of Thrones. Like, give me a name.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. I just got to those episodes.
Yeah, like they and like that's how good they were. But then as they got better, they've gotten more contact with this person, with this whoever was doing. Like it was more like, don't look around this corner, but I'm gonna talk to you for this next mission. And then you could see like it was like they thought they were holding a lantern, but it was like kind of like a visage. But even at this moment, you can kind of tell like they wasn't that powerful. Like they wasn't this, you know. And you know, quicken through time, they helped like strengthen this connection by like killing heads of state locally in churches, finding artifacts. Their motives kind of shifted. They slowly shifted as you're kind of seeing all of this from like just execute people and get money to like, yeah, we'll do whatever this person says. That doesn't matter. And like they didn't realize that their motives were shifting to like, oh, undermine the entire underground of the city so that at one point, if we take off the head, it'll just fall apart. And this is this whole plan coming together. Then that's when closer to this fight, they're like, okay, we're gonna you meet up with Daron. This is like the head of the thing. He's a secret agent. He's working with me. We're gonna do this big thing. This is the plan of the town. Kill the count, take over the city. They detail a plan. This is a part that you find particularly interesting. They detail a plan of undermining the Ember Fists, another huge gang that's risen to power kind of separately from them. Like, they're a problem. We can use them and pay them only for a certain amount, but if we want to take control, they need to be gone. So they detail a plan where they've since been calling themselves the Labrutas, like the deadly but feminine name, deadly woman, kind of. They start taking that moniker because people just kind of start calling them that and don't really know why. Maybe like demon whispers in the night and ears, who knows.
Call these guys Labrutas.
Yeah, oh my god, the Labrutas just killed my dad. So the biggest point you get in this is like you see this whole plan where they were gonna fake an attack on Daron. They were gonna blow Daron's office up, pin it on the Ember Fists, and then the entire town was like, all the guard was gonna swarm the Ember Fists, and they were gonna backdoor the
And then they could have like
they were gonna
martyred-
backdoor
they were gonna martyr Daron a little bit.
they were gonna martyr Daron, but the big fight that they were gonna have,
Got him already.
the big fight that they were to show how big of a deal the Ember Fists were, some fucking kids came in and killed them. And like blood boiling with Barrett. And then Barrett, in that fight, he's like, oh, why is this fight taking so long? I need to make sure, like, this should be over. This should be like, ooh, but then everybody should disperse. People are still there. Why? He goes and sees you there with Hinda and was like, well, that makes sense.
Well, that makes.
And then comes back out and then they can't do their plan because the Ember Fists are dead. There's nobody to pin the explosion on. And they're like, I guess we just have to attack. And then everything from there has been pretty surface level because they didn't have the time. They kept having this wall Barrett kept having this wall that he was coming up against in his plans. There was a shift in when LaDonna was giving him plans, and he was just, this was all Barrett moving the chess pieces around. And there was just two things that were getting in his way over and over and over again when it started to matter. And it was you guys. And then it's kind of like replaying backwards up into the present moment. He's pissed. He now knows that the guy who beat him once now beat him twice. And he's fuming, and then he's like, okay, he gets a summons from LaDonna. He's like, whatever. And he's like, guys, come on. And he goes, and then now we're back to the present moment. So.
And then Tag gets sucked out of heaven. Kind of.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, cool. Barrett's kind of the better version.
Me?
Like you kind of had the self-deprecating thought, like Barrett's kind of the, like, if my life not went right,
but if he'd figured shit out,
if you kind of
sooner.
went with more intention than just kind of like freeballing, then it could have, I don't know, then it could have gone in that direction.
But then you wouldn't have met Clem.
You wouldn't have met Clem.
It's true.
Wouldn't have had any
Who's
friends.
to
You
say
wouldn't
the
have met other horned friends.
Yeah, 2 horned friends.
That's the requirement for all
You just have to have
characters in
horns.
this. You have
So
to
there's
have
a lot
Um,
to horns.
They could
Now,
be-
now I get why you keep asking that question, because all your characters have horns.
They can come off. They
They
just have to have horns.
they actually, I think these are the only two.
I was just joking, like the characters. in this
No,
game.
I know.
Um,
Do any other characters with horns?
So yeah, I think the last thing that, with that kind of getting the story of Barrett now, the last thing that you see before you kind of like sloop back into your own brain is like, that could have been me. And then you're back in the boat, and you wake up. It's like 6 a.m. It's right when Sedge is just getting up
Are
to.
we in bunk beds or the swinging?
You're in
hammock?
like the swing.
Hammocks,
things. So
yeah.
you
Is there
kind
anyone above me?
of no.
No. Okay.
There's like, I think it's just like, it's a small enough boat where it's like 2 beds, 2 beds, 2 beds.
I either wanted Tag to like sit up so fast that he just like absolutely smashes his cranium
Mhm.
into like the bunk above him, but I figure if it's like another swinging cot, he just stabs his horns like straight through.
There's
it,
like
gets
baskets and
super
stuff.
confused
Maybe the
and
ceiling is low
frantic.
enough that you
Mhm.
hit the deck.
Or
There's like
Yeah.
nets of like material
Yeah.
and like
You hear
stuff, and you
Yeah,
it's
you
not a
just
good
hear
one.
like a
No, I can't do it hard enough.
and then you kind of just like fall out of your
Yeah.
bunk.
He does the like funny cartoon twist,
Mhm.
untwist, falls out.
And then said you just see your friend just kind of just like have a nightmare, go huh, and then fall
When
out of
Sedge
bed.
finally gets the opportunity to talk to Tag, this is not how I ended up how I envisioned the
This
circumstance
is
would
gonna
end
be
up, but that's
wild.
okay. I have to go to bed.
I was gonna
though.
say.
I can't do that tonight.
Yes.
I want to. I got
Yeah.
so many things to say to you.
If you
Write them down.
I have.
Good.
Also,
I need to write
his
things
dad
down.
is at least was at least, if not still, on the Council of
Yes.
Moonrook. Which I don't know if that meant that he was a knight. I think he's like the first cohort of knights, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah.
I'll say he's the only knight to be in the council.
Whoa.
Special.
But then Sedge was not on the council, he was just a knight.
Yeah, I mean, I think you even said you're like, oh, I don't want to be like on the council. I just want to help people. I want to
Yeah.
stay at my position because my position I can more actively personally help people.
Yeah.
With
And
I could
leave because
right.
he's not an urban boy.
Mhm.
right. You had the ability to travel, and also you didn't have to. You didn't feel as if enacting change through policy was doing enough,
Yeah.
which is.
It's too heady.
Mm-hmm.
Um
My mind is blown. Wow. The lore. That could have gone so bad.
all the lore. It could have, but it didn't. You got some good juice out of it.
I'll
But
say
like, see, would you have like, do you regret going back for the wizard and dying?
Oh, absolutely
You know,
not.
exactly.
It's so in character.
Exactly. It's
100. No.
The
No.
only way that interesting stuff happens
No
in
regrets
life
at
or
all.
any campaign or anything is
I'm
if
just
you are an active
Scared of
participant of it.
absolutely bongling it, which I have.
But then that's also interesting.
but then you can just make a new character.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like, a character. I've invested so much. I also don't want to get Clem killed.
Please don't get
I
Clem
would feel
killed.
so bad.
I would.
In
feel
the
bad.
moment, I couldn't decide which would be meaner. I was trying to do the meaner option in my head. I was like, which would be worse for Tag? If
Clem
the
was
demon,
targeted, that would be
if the
worse.
demon was
Yeah.
coming after him, or if Barrett, because it's like if Barrett, which Barrett bad way would he take? Would he take the like personal vindication, or would he take the like I'm gonna rip your heart
Yeah,
out
yeah.
kind of thing?
Yeah.
I feel like it would be, like that's always the, the
Mhm.
superhero
I
or
can-
the hero's journey or whatever is. It's like you could target me, that's fine, but like target my
Mhm.
family, that's how you really get
Hurt
it.
my friend.
I'll
You
tell
know?
you what old Barrett would have done. Old Barrett would have 1,000% gone for
Oh
them.
yeah.
Um,
But you bear it.
but who knows what new Barrett would do? Who knows what New Barrett even is?
What's New Barrett's vibe?
New Barrett.
Noob Barrett.
Noob.
It's like New Donk City.
New Donk City, baby. That's the best. That's the best name for anything ever. I decided.
It's so
New
good.
Donk City.
It's also such a bananas world. Because they're all like, yeah, that's what I said. Because they're just like people, but they're all like business people, but they're normal proportions.
Except for Mario.
And then, but Mario running around is, no, Donkey Kong's not even in New Donk City as far as I know. But Pauline's the mayor.
What?
It's implied that he could have been
Founded
there.
it?
No, I guess it's implied that like, at one point he was there because that's where like, Pauline is or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
It's cool. Super Mario Odyssey is a wacky game. All the people, all the different groups of people are fun. You know, there's like the hat ghosts, and there's those robotic watering can guys, and then there's the people that are just normal people. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Look at all.
Lexi, which is Pesto? Which one should I take?
Not the correct one.
Okay, I'll take the right one.
And take the beef.
The beef. Do
Where's-
not forget the beef.
Where's the beef?
Okay. I'll take my beef and go.
He's like, no, not my turn.
Oh, you still have my entire business.
It has butter in it.
That's fine. I didn't know you have the small We're missing the thing itself. I think we actually have it. It is. Oh no. 'Cause I think we have it. Okay. Might get it like next week.
Yeah.
That's okay. Almonds are high yield for leftovers. You know what I mean? Oh, I can just take it later. I'll see you all in a week. Well, it'll take me that long to get my shoes on.
A week? We'll play again.
Yeah, that's when we'll play
As
again.
soon as you get your shoes on.
Oh.
You said as long as it'll take me as long to get my
Oh, no. It'll take me as long as you
Handstand.
He's so malleable.
He is.
Can you imagine being a pet? What the hell would that feel like? Just people just sort of like
these
pick
giant
you up,
things.
pick you up and throw you down, and then
Pet
there's
you.
food that you get sometimes, and you don't really understand what's going on. You're just like, I guess I'm in a new house tonight for no reason, and then I'm gonna go back home or just hang out here. You're just like the world just like happens around you,
Yeah.
and you are just being like, I don't know, fed, provided by benevolent aliens
Yeah.
that live
I
forever.
feel like Chowder is more aware of the way it works
I guess maybe
than
being a cat
I think
feels a
cats
little
are.
less dependent.
It's a little more of an
you know?
agreement.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like being a dog, you're like.
All right, this is my
there.
life.
I can't pee unless my alien says so.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
I don't care if my alien says so, and I'm just gonna be
I
here.
don't care
Here's a
if my.
baby.
That's just a great sentence. I don't care if my alien says so. I'm just gonna
You didn't care. You didn't care, Chris.
Whoa, there's a little snake on that thing.
I made
That's
it.
Pretty cool.
I made a little snake.
Look at it. It's got a little snap and everything.
Did you see the pictures of the honey costumes?
No.
Did Lucas?
Well, I saw the oblation thing.
a better picture.
I'd like to see it.
Wait, so you were looking at Oblation's story, but not mine?
I don't know how to use Instagram.
But
That's
like,
very cute.
but do you even follow me?
I think I do. I was just okay, cause I have like my I have my like screen time limits.
Yeah, tell
You have
Catherine
to influence Catherine.
So I have my like screen time limits
when you become her new best friend.
on.
I just
Make
came
out
with
with
her. Okay, today was so weird
What are you
because
saying even?
Miranda brought up that like
I like your little
Addie's
thing.
making a jacket for
Your little
Um,
shawl thing.
Lucas and
I want to see.
and Miranda was like, "Oh, I saw like the thing, blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, were you at Addie's house?" And she was like,
No,
and I was like,
I didn't want to.
and I was like, "You can be at Addie's
Yeah.
house," and she was
You
like,
can be friends with Addie.
and she was like, "Well, oh yeah, we were doing like a Procreate thing," and I was like, "Cool, like that's awesome."
What am I
And
looking
she
at?
was like, "I mean, like you guys can come too," and I was like, "No, it's fine. Like you guys can just hang out. Like
Whoa.
that's totally fine."
You guys are allowed to have a friendship
Yeah.
group.
I was like, you know, you're good.
I
I'm
like
like, you don't
how
need to
it's-
hide that.
No,
Keep
so
you
Lexi,
asking
I have
about
screen
your
time limits on my social media usage, including Instagram, and I wasn't looking at anyone's story. I was just scrolling through, and one of the posts that came up was all of you in front of
Yeah.
Oblation, and I looked at it and was like trying to like some of these people, and I knew you because you were the only green one.
You just look for the green,
Green.
and there's Andy.
Yeah.
Green.
Which I will say, I didn't know you were going to be green before I saw that Instagram picture, but then I was like, who else could that possibly be?
Who else has that condition?
Yeah, so
Green.
so that's, and then I think I ran out of time. And
While
I,
you were looking
It just,
at
like,
photos.
cut out.
what do you mean that, what's a story? I was just looking at the posts that are on there.
Circle
We'll
thing.
explain.
Are you my boss?
I'll explain it later.
Like-
Are you Jennifer?
You just look at
Sorry.
the,
Reels
I
are the
just-
ones that go away, right?
I just go to this, I'm just scrolling through the
And then
posts.
you're like, whoa, what are these circles?
There's a top?
You might have not
There's
edited
a
it.
top of
So, like,
Instagram?
Lexi's posted this story.
There's a top.
So it's a timed post.
Oh, yeah, I've
You
seen
only look
those.
at more for a little bit.
Yeah, you hold it and then it gets
Yeah.
and it stops. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Oh, okay.
Snapchat.
I feel like people have shown me those. I just didn't know how to get them on the app. There's a top of Instagram's feed that has the circles, and you can.
But you
move
can
it.
only see it if you're on. You can't see it if you're on your followers page or your following page, which is dumb. You can only see it on your like home page.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't
say
I don't
either.
know. A following page.
Well, if you click the
Look,
Instagram,
I-
then
look,
you
I
go
s-
following.
The only social
Yeah, but I
media that
didn't
I
make
spend
that.
any time on is Tumblr, and I think I sent my very first DM like last week.
You
So,
were like, wow, my first message that isn't spam.
yeah.
That's it.
So you
I-
just saw like the 4 messages I sent you?
Yeah, I just saw.
Aren't they very you?
They are.
That Undyne is a
I know, it's so good.
Undyne is a what?
Dunkleosteus.
Oh, I saw that post. It's not on Instagram.
Is
though.
she?
I don't know, but she kind of has the teeth that are similar to,
Oh,
carnivorous
yeah.
placoderms. So, yeah, but like, I'm not a social media user. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do it. So all these things, the stories and stuff, they're inscrutable to me. 'Cause I'm an old person. This is the generational divide. I am a millennial. And you're a
Thank you for the Lord's
whatever. Greetings
I'm really
and salutations.
The worst part about being a DM is that you're really excited about the things that are coming immediately after the things that are about to happen.
Ain't that just the way?
Yeah. So I'm really excited for you for the stuff that happens after.
Oh, good. We'll get there.
For you.
For me?
For you.
Yes.
Forget about Clem.
I want to know. Okay, the indie thing.
No, I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did. It's on. Oh, I didn't stop the recording.
Oh God.
And also, Clem's parents maybe being in hell, or Clem's family. I remember.